Welcome back, guys, to the fifth episode of this podcast. In this episode, we are going to talk about something very important, which is especially important for us. And if you're like in your 20s or 30s, 40s, whatever it is, it's pretty much important the entire fucking time. And what I'm talking about is skills here. Skills is basically like one of the most important resources you can have and that you can learn. It's basically like money in a way. And so in this episode, we're going to talk about it a bit. What are the benefits of learning a lot of skills, especially when you're younger? And yeah, with all of that being said, I would just jump right into the episode. Finn, what do you think, or how important do you think are skills, and why do you think they are important?
If we want to go extremely broad, we can say that everything is a skill, kinda.
Yeah, facts.
And if we see it like that, it's it's pretty important.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're working somewhere, or if you're in school, or just doing some hobbies, it's always some skill that is involved with this thing. And the better your skill is, the better you are generally at this thing. And this is always something you want to be. You always want to get better. And I think it's kind of the only way to get better is to get better skills. Or it's the most important way to get better at something.
It's probably the most important, yeah.
There can some things like mindset and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can like kind of think of it like this. your mindset and your values, etc., are kind of like your base, and the skyscraper is kind of like the skills you learn, or basically like one skill maybe. And just the base without a skyscraper is pretty much worthless. I mean, that's really uninteresting, right? And so it doesn't really do anything. It just sets the foundation, the base, but you have to actually build the skills, build the skyscraper in order to like really reap any benefits here. Like just the mindset won't get you really anywhere. I mean, it's a very good way to start, and it's 100% important. It's literally the foundation. But yeah, I mean,
I think can also reverse it so that the skills are the foundation, and upon this foundation of skills, you build your thing that you want to build in your life, like some career, some business. This is the thing that you build upon the foundation of your skills.
Yeah. See, like we could search for then an even better, like a 3-story kind of metaphor here, but that's not really the important thing in this podcast. Yeah, skills. Everything is a skill. You know, there's social skills. There's literally like if working efficiency and just being productive is a skill itself. Learning is a skill itself. There's just so much going into this, and then you can just talk about 100 different things. You could talk about how to find very good startups to invest in, like being an angel investor in specific startups or whatever. That's a skill, or that's a very specific skill, But you could also just keep it a bit broader and say, for example, staying in shape is also a skill, a very important one. And so everything is a skill. And so what's really important is not only to learn the skills itself, but learn how to master skills. And the best way to do that is not only know a little bit of like theory, especially in the new field, and maybe contact some experts or whatever, or watch some videos, get some knowledge in, but also it's just to experience actively learning a skill. And so yeah, I mean, the more skills you learn, the better you get at learning new skills or just old ones and making them even better. And so you should definitely start learning skills at the youngest age possible. Like this is such a cheat code. And if you're a parent, really make your children learn some skills. It's a game changer, especially when you're young and your brain is like this changeable. And yeah, skills are just perfect.
Yeah, so I think we can summarize skills in some fundamental skills and then more specific ones. So fundamental skills like problem solving, being patient, being able to focus, stuff like that. And then more specific ones, just skills in general, like drawing or craftsmanship, stuff like that.
Yeah.
These are more specific skills. And while practicing these specific skills, you can also practice the fundamental skills, which I think everyone should have to a certain degree, because they are extremely practical in your life. So it's really important to build your fundamental skills. And like I mentioned, this can be achieved by doing some specific skills. So I have the example with drawing. I thought about it a little bit, because I personally started to draw again, and I thought about what kind of skills I can learn. And the things I came up with are, especially with me, the patience I build up. So drawing on one picture for a couple hours straight, and then just coloring it in the same color for a couple of hours is just really draining for me. And being able to sit there and go through it to finish the drawing is really building up my patience. And then I'm also a pretty extreme perfectionist, so I can kind of count it with drawing, because I'm really bad at it. And by being not able to draw the things to my liking, I have to confront myself with being fine seeing some mediocre art, because I'm not good enough. But just seeing it and knowing that I am not able to make it better at the moment kinda weakens my perfectionism. And you get a feeling for different things, or an eye. So I start to get a feeling with art. So I also appreciate things like this more, and can have more enjoyable things in life, because I now appreciate.
Life just gets more beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. I can appreciate different things more because I know more about it. So I can appreciate more nature and artworks. And that's just some things I came up with drawing. And I think that a lot of these things are skills that you learn with every specific skill, and are just really helpful for your entire life.
100%. It's funny because we could use the same metaphor as before. Again, it's kind of like, you got the base skills, and the stronger is your base, the easier it is to like build the specific skills, etc. But it also goes like both ways, in a weird sense, where if you build specific skills, you also strengthen your base, which is cool, which is a funny perk, pretty much. And also, if you want to progress in life as fast as possible, learning skills is kind of like the way to go. Because let's say, for example, you want to learn how to build houses or architecture, right? Which is a skill. And there's many sub skills to that. But let's just say you want to learn how to architect things, to construct things in a way, build things. And then you go to uni, for example, to kind of learn that there. And there, not only will you learn how to literally, create buildings, which is really cool, but you will also at the same time learn probably social skills, because you're literally in uni with people your age, the same interests, etc. So you learn that, your base gets stronger, you get happier, which then results in more results. There's just your patience probably goes up, your kind of like problem solving skills, and maybe even IQ or whatever, like just your logical thinking might go up, your creativity and kind of like the designs of buildings, etc. So there's just so much going into like one broader skill that if you want to level up as fast as possible in life, then you should really start there. Like I remember when I started at the gym, which is also a skill, how to keep your body in shape or gain strength and gain weight, gain muscle. social skills benefited from that a lot, and then just patience and driving through pain, etc. And that triggered like a whole new evolution of myself, basically. And so yeah, it's kind of like this insane growing cascade of, if you start learning new skills like every year in a way, or just over and over again, it's gonna make your life so goddamn. It's gonna make your life so much better. And also, there's always kind of like hidden opportunities in learning such skills. I'm sure you have an example here with maybe Einstein or something. But you might learn things by the side. You don't really think about them much, but they will literally change your life later on. And this happens so often that if you like try to learn something, a new skill, a sub skill which you don't really notice or which you haven't really thought of at first, becomes like much more interesting. And then all of a sudden there's this like new opportunity because you've been in a new social circle with new people around you. And all of a sudden you got this new opportunity, let's say a startup, and you hop on it, and all of a sudden your life is completely changed. Like there's just so much going into learning skills. So I would highly recommend anyone listening to this, build skills, try new skills all the time, literally every single year. So it will benefit you so fucking much.
Yeah, so a cool metaphor I think I came up with is the tree. So the tree trunk is the specific skill you practice over a decade or so, or just over time. And the bigger your tree trunk is, the bigger or the better you are at the specific skill, and the more knowledgeable you are about the specific topic, the bigger the tree trunk is. And then the bigger the different tricks are getting more larger, and just more tricks are there. Branches. That's branch that was. There are more branches, they are getting bigger and just more overall. And the branches are your fundamental skills. So by developing the specific skill, the tree trunk, you also develop more and more specific skills. And the roots, which are also getting bigger when the tree trunk is going bigger, are your mindsets, your worldviews, your different opinions from things. And this is then the fundament for everything. But this also grows with the specific skill, the tree trunk.
Yeah. And now, bro, like that's such a cool metaphor. And now imagine like a whole ass fucking a bunch
forest.
Of trees. Yeah, a whole fucking forest. I mean, that's where it gets really fucking interesting. And that's a really cool metaphor because it also shows how with skills you kind of build character depth. Like you get more interesting as a person, and you yourself will probably like yourself more. And that's only gonna help you like with everything in your work life. That's greatly gonna benefit you. In your social world, 100%. If you're an interesting person, people want to be with you. And you become an interesting person not only through experiences you made, but also through the skills you learned. And with the skills, probably also comes the experiences. And so it just builds this like very depth character, which is going to you build a forest. And I would much rather have like a forest than just a couple of trees.
I think we can even expand this even more. So there are different kinds of trees in this forest, and these trees all build a different worldview and opinion for different things. And the roots, which represent our worldview and our character, then intertwine with each other and maybe not compete, but they get together in the underground. And through these different collisions of these worldviews and stuff like that, you build one worldview or one character.
Yeah. And the bigger and the healthier your forest is, the more animals come in. The more people and opportunities come into your life, and they just make your life even better because they actually help the forest. Shit. And so it gets this like huge organism kind of, which continues supporting itself. And we could maybe even go further with this. Like that's a very, very cool metaphor. Very cool metaphor. But we were cooking right there.
Yeah, it doesn't even think about the animals and people that go or that are pulled because of this big forest.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
I also tried to think of like maybe some weather changes, whatever, but I couldn't really make something up there. The air gets better. The air gets better. Life quality just gets better.
That's
in general.
Yeah, it's more healthy the environment.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Exactly. That's really cool. And one thing I like to add for skills is don't mind paying for skills. Like you should always like keep in mind your current, financial situation, and everything, and really always, and in every investment you undertake, you should always be like, okay, what's the cost and what's the probable outcome, and how probable is actually the outcome, and you should make decisions for investments based on that, and you should not hold back on investing into skills, especially when you're young. Like that's a really good thing. I mean, we in Germany, we have it actually a lot better when it comes to like universities than in the US. So in Germany, it's incredibly hard to say that universities are a scam because they're literally free. Like they're basically fucking free. You can study for free, which is a huge opportunity. In a way, I mean, university is such a thing itself, because even in Germany, the argument could be made that you don't need universities, and it would be actually logical and fine. But that's an entirely different topic. Again, skills, you should not be afraid to invest in skills. And if there are like free opportunities coming your way to learn skills, you should take them, probably. So, yeah.
That's something I want to mention as well. So you should value learning over money, especially at our age, where we have no one to care about. We have most of us at our age have no children, and we don't have a wife. We don't have to financially support these. Yeah. So we can focus on our own development and don't have to earn enough to be a millionaire in 2 years. We can do this later on in life, but now we should focus on learning and developing our skills and our knowledge, so we have strong tree trunks in our forest and not some weak bushes. Because later on in life they're just going to die sooner and not really accomplish the things the forest would.
I mean, at this point, all I can say is learn as many skills as possible. It's gonna compound in life significantly, especially for you if you put in the hard work, even if you don't see results immediately. All of the skills are just going to like come together. They're going to like branch out kind of, and then they kind of like build this like very strong, whatever you want to call it, trunk or whatever, forest. Doesn't really matter. It's just that your life is going to be much better off. Yeah.
And it's also helping you with your purpose. So if you don't really know what your purpose is and what way you want to go in life, just try different things, build up your skills there, and when you come up on your purpose that you feel that is the thing you want to do, you already have these skills that can support this purpose and get you farther there than without these skills you have developed. And you can also argue that some kind of skills are getting useless because of technology. But technology isn't really going to make anything easier for us. It's more making everything harder. So as an example, in business, everyone has the technology to make everything easier, but this just makes it harder because you have to develop so much more skills to be on top of the competition that also has everything easier because of the technology. So you have to compete on an even higher basis than before. Just like when the globalization started, before you had your competition in your own city, and this was your marketplace. But after the globalization, you now had the whole world as a competition and had to be even better than before, had to have more skills, more knowledge. And this is just the same with technology. You have to know even more than before. And that's why it's still important to learn these things.
And it's not only important, it's basically like vital. As you said, especially if you want to be like, if you want to just be somewhat successful, fair enough. You might as well just be on a local level. But if you want to like venture into national or international, waters, let's just say, you have to be one sharp motherfucker. Like you really have to. You have to have developed a lot of skills, and as I said, build a very deep character, and just kind of like the strength of character that comes with that, and then you can go into these waters and be successful.
Yeah, even with just normal learning, everything is so available to us that when you know some things, there are so much people that know the same things as you that it's hard to stick out for a possible employer or just a job you want to take. So you have to learn even more because it's so available to everybody.
Yeah.
So you can stick out and achieve the things you want to achieve.
100%, yeah. Yeah, do you have anything more to add? Because actually that's all of the kind of bullet points I wrote out.
No, I think everything was mentioned. Look out for the skills you could learn in these different parts of business. And that's pretty much it.
I think so too, yeah. Learn skills and your life will be happy.
And you will grow a big, beautiful forest.
Exactly. A healthy forest, strong forest.
Yeah.
That's what we want, yeah. I think that's this for this episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. That's it. We'll see you in the next episode. Let's see what we're going to talk about next. Bye-bye.